Sure, we could all agree that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the midst of one of the most intriguing rebuilds. I don't even know if we could even call it a rebuild. One of the most intriguing transitions that I've ever seen. Because if you think about it, this all technically started last year when they brought in Bruce Arians as their brand new head coach. But subsequently, there was a lot of decisions that were made that I don't exactly know if it was done on purpose or not, but it resulted in a very positive outcome. What I mean by this is, take Shaq Barrett, for example. This guy was a undrafted free agent that was signed to the Denver Broncos squad in 2014. And in 2015, he posted 5.5 sacks. In 2016, he posted 1.5 sacks. And in 2017, he had 4 sacks. And in 2018, he had 3 sacks. And then the Broncos thought, okay, we could just let this guy walk. He's just a role player. He's nothing special. And then he goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also signed Ndamukong Suh last offseason, and posts 19.5 sacks. How the hell does that happen? Obviously, whenever a player posts that type of production where he has 1 year where he goes off for 19.5 sacks after posting single-digit sack seasons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to franchise tag him, because I don't even think Shaq Barrett even believes that he posted that type of production. But this goes even deeper, because with Bruce Arians comes a brand new phenomenal offensive scheme that puts quarterback Jameis Winston, wide receivers Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin in a position to succeed. And subsequently, Jameis Winston led the league in passing yardage, interceptions. He had a 30 for 30 season, 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. And obviously, Bruce Arians was thinking, man, Jameis Winston has thrown as many interceptions this year as Tom Brady has in the past 4 years. So ultimately, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers decided to go with Tom Brady. Bruce Arians probably views this as probably a Carson Palmer project on steroids, because Tom Brady has won before. Tom Brady knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl. He's coming from a championship winning culture. And yes, Bruce Arians is probably going to have to figure out an offensive scheme that doesn't require Tom Brady to air out a deep ball as consistently, but it appears as if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have a lot of weapons to play with. And by weapons, I know we already have Chris Godwin, we have Mike Evans, and we have OJ Howard, which might be getting some more attention because Tom Brady loves his tight ends. I know Bruce Arians doesn't love his tight ends, but Tom Brady does. But there also might be one more weapon heading to Tampa Bay. And before I get to that, what's going on, guys? Your boy Microphone back again with some more NFL news content. Guys, really quickly, we're a brand new football channel. If you enjoy football, you want football content and football news delivered straight to your device, the good stuff, the important stuff. I'm not going to come out and tell you when a role player signs to a brand new franchise, but the good and more interesting stuff. Make sure you turn on notifications and subscribe, and drop a like on this video. Every like, subscription, and notification joining helps the channel grow. I'm also going to be live streaming on Twitch later on. It's twitch.tv/FlightMike if you want to come by, play some Call of Duty or some Madden with your boy. And finally, if you want, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. It's Flight Microphone for an additional way to get all the latest and greatest NFL news whenever I don't have time to make a video and I feel like just posting onto Instagram. I also want to get some of your Instagram comments in these videos down the line. So if you follow on Instagram, it'll allow me to do so in the future. Now that that's out of the way, a lot of you guys, I'm sure, are aware of Antonio Brown. This guy had 9 phenomenal seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's actually one of the greatest stories in NFL history, just surely from the fact that, for one, the one thing I love about Antonio Brown the most is this man was drafted in the 2010 NFL draft, and he had 21 wide receivers drafted before him. And he ended up being the best one out of all of them, despite being a 6th round pick. He ended up being a phenomenal player that got named to 7 Pro Bowls, 4 times. He's a 4-time first-team All-Pro and a 2nd-time All-Pro as well. He led the NFL in receiving twice. He also led the NFL in receptions twice. And in his final year in the league, well, I'm not really counting 2019, Antonio Brown was the NFL receiving touchdowns leader. Now, I'm sure you guys understood what's happened to AB ever since, because there is, of course, a reason why Antonio Brown is currently unemployed. And that reason is, well, to start, things just started getting really weird for AB. I'm sure you guys understand. It all starts with him getting traded to the Oakland Raiders after his rift with Ben Roethlisberger got like way too big. And after getting traded to the Oakland Raiders, Antonio Brown had a very strange summer. And I don't know why this was blown so out of proportion. Apparently he burnt his feet in a cryotherapy machine and got frostbitten feet. And the entire media just ran away with this. And they made such a big deal out of it. I didn't know what the big deal about this was. But eventually, Antonio Brown would go on and complain about his helmet, like make a big deal about his helmet and demand that he gets a specific type of helmet. Eventually, he would partner with Zenith. And then I think like 3 weeks later, Zenith dropped him. Eventually, Antonio Brown would get released from the Oakland Raiders. He would record the entire thing. Honestly, Antonio Brown might be one of my favorite YouTubers because I don't know any YouTuber vlogging John Gruden having a phone call with them. But Antonio Brown would get released. He would sign with the Patriots. And he signed with the Patriots for a brief period of time. But that brief period of time was more than enough time for him to become very well acquainted with a man that many football fans consider to be the greatest football player of all time, and that is Tom Brady. So he would join the New England Patriots on September 7th, but on September 10th, there was a lawsuit that alleged that Antonio Brown had sexually assaulted his former trainer, Brittany Taylor, and he didn't really handle this very properly as well either. There's a bunch of text messages out there that just make Antonio Brown look very, very bad, and literally 10 days later, Antonio Brown would get cut from the New England Patriots. But he was able to play one game with Tom Brady, and I'm sure that was enough for them to make an impression on each other, because shortly after being out of the NFL for a while, because of course things would just get worse for Antonio Brown. He would post all these weird social media posts, and then he would get arrested on January 24th for battery and felony burglary following an altercation with a delivery truck driver. But on January 29th, Antonio Brown would post this picture onto Instagram, pretty much showing love to Tom Brady. And the caption was, "Want to play more than ever 2020 wherever at Tom Brady go." Now, bear in mind, I'm going to be honest, and you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I do think Antonio Brown has a mild or major case of CTE. He's showing all the symptoms of it, and I feel like all the articles that disagree with it are like being paid for by the NFL, because this makes the NFL look really bad. But I think Antonio Brown has major CTE, because he's been going on these apology sprees as well. But I digress. The point of this is Antonio Brown and Tom Brady have so far, their stats together are 4 completions, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Antonio Brown seems to really miss football, and he's doing everything he can to get back on the football field. But there is this rumor that Tom Brady said that wherever he goes, Antonio Brown is coming with. Now, if you guys watched HBO's Hard Knocks this past offseason when Antonio Brown was featured, and if you just look at the general demeanor in Antonio Brown's voice, this guy wants to secure a huge bag. But I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be down to bring along Antonio Brown. It just doesn't make sense. Where would Antonio Brown play? In fact, would it even make sense when you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin? Would it make sense to have Antonio Brown in the slot? Would Antonio Brown be okay playing a reduced role? Because I'm sure there's plenty of teams that would definitely like to sign him and feature him as their top wide receiver. So there's a lot of questions surrounding this situation, but at the same time, I do believe this. I really do think Tom Brady wants to play with Antonio Brown wherever he goes. AB is a huge fan of Tom Brady as well. I feel like the duo would do some wonderful stuff together, and just if there's one player that knows what to do with a great wide receiver core, it's Tom Brady. You give him Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Antonio Brown and OJ Howard and a good offensive line, and Tom Brady's going to make magic happen. But the question is whether this makes sense or not. The question also is whether Antonio Brown's headache would be worth it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But there's also the question of, do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers even have a choice here? If Tom Brady truly says that he is a package deal with Antonio Brown, there's a chance that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers already accepted that this is their reality. But of course, this is all speculation. I'm not exactly sure about... this sounds believable to me. I'm not exactly sure if it is true, but it sounds extremely believable. If you ask me, I feel like Tom Brady wouldn't 100% force any team, especially the Buccaneers, to sign Antonio Brown, given his past and given the fact that he could be a little bit of a volatile personality. And if you're looking for a good wide receiver 3, you could easily go and sign Dez Bryant, who used to be a great wide receiver 1 with similar playmaking ability, obviously not as amazing as Antonio Brown, but has a similar playmaking ability, isn't as much of a headache, has also been out of football for quite some time, and would probably be content being a wide receiver 3 behind Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And in fact, that's probably the best place for him to be. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Tom Brady is going to bring Antonio Brown with him to Tampa Bay? Or do you think he's content with the wide receiver core he has and he's focused on other things? I'm your boy Microphone, and I'll catch you guys either in my Twitch live stream tonight or in my next upload.